Alright, so we have the differential and we have here the arm set. So I'm going to start with this. I'm only going to do one side because if you do one, you do the other. It's the same process. So for this, you need to remove the hex. They should come off, but sometimes after you've run them for quite a while, sometimes dirt will get in them and it just becomes a challenge to actually remove. But you just pull in the hex and then you push the pin through, and then this should just pop right out. So once you pop that out, that's it. Now these here, they do have these little clips, so you can pop those out with pliers. You can use something like this and then just pop it out. You can use a flathead screwdriver, pop those out if you have to replace these. But these are pretty durable. You'd probably have to replace them once they're really, really old. That's the only thing I can think of, really. So the bearings, there's a gap between the bearings, as you can see, so right in here. So I'm just going to use my driver and I'm just going to push on the bearing. Try to push on the metal part of the bearing, just so you don't damage the seal. And that's it. And then you'll see the metal ring here for the other bearing. Just put your driver on that metal portion and then just push out. And then you may have to just go around. And this should be loose. There we go. All right. And other than that, you can just take a little towel and wipe in here if you need to. And that is it. The other one is ready to go, but that's what it looks like inside. So this is actually ready now to put the other bearings. To remove these arms, it's just this screw right here. Just remove it and the link will come out. One of the things to notice is the orientation for this little groove. That groove generally goes on the left-hand side. That's generally the standard. Now, this link over here, you remove this screw, and then you remove this screw here, and this will come off. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, just so I can show you something. And keep the orientation in mind when you remove this, especially if you've disassembled everything, such as what I have done. So I will place this here. All right, so that is my top, this is my top. This part here with the lettering, that's going to be on the bottom. And I'm going to face the bearing that way once I reinstall it. But you have to remove all of that, and then once you do, these will just pop open. And then once they pop open, you can just go ahead and push the bearings out. Again, use your driver, just be gentle with it. Be careful not to stab yourself with the driver as well. That's why you don't apply that much force. Now, if you have a punch that's right about that size, you can use that in there as well. But here we go. So this one, you would do the same thing. And you may have to go around a little, just kind of push it out little by little. And there we go. It's not wanting to. Let's see, maybe greater angle. Oh, this one's really stuck. Let me go ahead and do this. Nope. Right, this one I may actually need a punch. So for this one here, if you have a punch that can go in there, or a larger driver, maybe even pliers, if I stick my pliers in there. No, not the pliers. This is the toughest bearing ever. I'm trying not to stab myself, but here we go. So I just grabbed my 3mm driver. It's a bit larger, and there we go. Oops. So just use a larger driver. I was using my 2mm, 3mm did the job, but there it is. All right. So we have this here, and again, this is going to be the bottom. All right. Now, in order to remove this arm and this arm, it will be the same process after you've removed these. First thing you need to do is, this is one thing that I love about these, as the plugs, make sure you don't lose them. You're going to reuse them. Just grab a plier, grab the edge, and that is it. So you're going to do that and nothing else. At this point, you can grab your 2.5mm driver, and then you just stick it in here, and it's just a hex, and you just go left, and that's it. So this will remove the arm. So we have one arm, and the other arm would be the exact same. Here we go. With new arms, you're going to have to thread them, so just be careful. And then you have these boots here. Just grab the rubber right there. And actually, it's a plastic ring. So you grab that little plastic ring, and then the boot will just come out right in here. Actually, the whole thing should come out. Why isn't it? There we go. There we go. So the whole thing came out. Perfect. And once you have that, then you can push this out. So there's a nut. You're going to need a larger Allen wrench, which I do not have here handy. Let me go find, well, I can just tell you. So you're going to need an Allen wrench, and this little plastic here, this will actually thread out. So you're just going to thread out, that will be removed, and then you can just push this. This will push out that way. So to reinstall it, drop this in, and then thread that back in. When you're threading this, try to hold the Allen wrench nice and straight and thread slowly, because it's very easy to cross thread these, and then you're going to make a mess. You may have to replace the part. So keep that in mind. At this point, that's the way you disassemble these. So again, take the plug out, turn left to remove this. This just screws on the arm. Arm comes out, take the ring off, remove the boot, then grab the larger Allen wrench, remove this one, and then this will just come forward. So if you ever have to replace these, that's the way you would do it. Or if you have to grease them, this is where you would grease them. So at this point, I'm going to start reassembling this. Go ahead and install the boot. That'll go there. Perfect. And I'm going to reinstall the ring. These boots do break easily, and I do recommend that you just replace them if they do, because they really help keep dust out of these joints, which keeps your RC running a long time. The only thing I'm doing here is I'm just kind of pressing here on the sides to seat this, and that is it. Now, again, if you want to re-lube these, you just re-lube them through here. That's it. Right in there. A little hole. But that's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the rear bearing. And the rear bearing, place it and then just seat it. And then once it's set, you can place the other one. To be honest, it doesn't matter if it's the outer or the inner bearing. And then we just place these. The main thing is that when you're pressing the bearings in, make sure that you're pressing them in as flat as possible, because if they start going at an angle, sometimes they'll get stuck and they won't go all the way in. And this is it. So here, these will just click on, and you can go ahead and install the arm. And and that was a 2.5. And here we go. Really do like those dust covers. Here we go. Now if you wanted to change the angle here, lengthen this, you could if you wanted to add little spacers. That is a possibility. Some other RCs stock come with that option. This one does not. The T-Max, I believe, did. But you know, completely different vehicle. And here we go. So now we just need to attach the suspension. All right. And go ahead and drop that in. And snug is all you need, do not over tighten, but now we have both sides. So both sides are now complete. I'm gonna go ahead and put that over there. I guess I could install the shaft, might as well, right? So that will go in there, slide the pin in that gap, in that little hole, and then slide the hex. Just remember there's those little grooves, that's where the pin goes. And that's it, it'll just snap in place. And we can move on to the differential now.
Oh, what? Oh, my hair! My arm! My rod!